CITAP Plus Return of the China Market Educational Series, where we chat with key players in the tourism industry to discuss and highlight important considerations when you are looking forward to working with the Chinese inbound market. My name is Shan, and I'm happy to continue hosting this series. Today's episode is part 3 of a 3-part series highlighting the answers to all the questions you have for RTOs as you prepare for the return of the China market. If you're tuning in for the first time, I highly encourage you to watch the other episodes, then come back and join us for the rest of this one. As always, here's a breakdown of the topics for today's episode. For the 3-part RTO segment, I had the pleasure of gaining both Western and Eastern Canada's perspectives on recovery through interviewing Alice Lin of Cal Travel and Bruce Pan of Zen Travel. Let's get into the recap. We'll start with highlighting the distribution channel. The distribution channel is somewhat similar to what we've seen pre-pandemic. As it stands, there's generally an even split among RTO partnerships for groups and OTA bookings for FIT travelers. Moreover, FIT travelers who aren't as confident or do not have as much trust in OTAs also utilize travel agent partnerships, which of course end up filtering through the RTO channels. From a business standpoint, OTAs only offer occasional partnerships, whereas RTOs can really provide long-term working relationships that are mutually beneficial. It was great to hear from our RTO experts that partnerships with Chinese clientele was actually maintained throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. But not only that, it was clear from those partnerships that there's an eagerness to produce once travel is fully recovered. To keep the distribution channel steady and flourishing, it's important to maintain connections with clientele domestically as well. Recall from our Destination Canada episode that relationships are critical when doing business with the China market. There are definitely opportunities to keep RTO channels wide open within this network. As we highlight market preparation, there are a couple topics we need to cover here. The first one is going to be cultural nuances and then supplier preparation. Recent travelers from China are open-minded to Western culture and cuisine. As a market that was maturing pre-pandemic, there's already an established connection, understanding, and open-mindedness of other cultures when Chinese guests are traveling outbound. While there are cultural nuances that can be addressed to enhance a traveler's experience, these nuances are no longer a top priority. To name a couple, however, one should not stick chopsticks vertically into rice, but instead place them flat on the table or on chopstick holders. Another nuance is using lucky numbers such as 8 or 9 and avoiding the unlucky number 4 where appropriate. These are a few common examples, and we encourage you to stay in touch with your RTO partners for any specifics. Our RTO experts express that challenges no longer lie in cultural nuances. However, they lie in rebuilding the tourism industry domestically. From a domestic perspective, we understand that there were many obstacles as a result of the changes from the COVID-19 pandemic around the industry. Notably, we saw gaps in the labor market. And while the labor market sees the demand from both employers and job seekers but have difficulties finding matches, we've also seen a necessity for a focus on training and mentorship. Our RTO experts are advocates in spreading awareness about these challenges and highlighting that this isn't unique to Canada, but that labor issues are evident in several areas around the world. They trust that when the labor market recovers, there will be a smoother transition and readiness for recovery. Overall, RTOs are ready to open and maintain connection with Canadian suppliers to welcome back the China market. We are optimistic and look forward to strengthening partnerships throughout the industry. If you're only able to take away a few points from this series, consider the key points below. Firstly, group travel is coming back, albeit a bit slower than FIT. There are barriers to entry right now, but once they are all accounted for, group travel will be a force to be reckoned with. In the short to medium term, focus efforts on FIT travelers. Additionally, when it comes to specialty attractions, consider strategies around the potential of high-value guests, especially in the low season. Secondly, relationships are important when working with the China market. Maintain those connections and check in when possible. This will help with longevity and strengthening partnerships. And lastly, there are travelers on the ground already. Ensure that you are communicating with your RTO partners to understand flight patterns and needs of the clientele they are serving. Have those discussions with RTOs to find mutually beneficial partnerships. Thank you so much for tuning in to the CTAP Plus Return of the China Market series. We hope that you found some valuable information on the current and future status of the China market and how you can best prepare. We encourage you to reach out if you have any questions or concerns, or simply want to connect with our RTO experts on this important topic. We look forward to seeing you in the next series.